the HOK carnival that we have in every single event, or if you're someone that's like very competitive, someone that's like really wanting to go pro, there's open series. There's multiple regions of pro play here, and if you're wanting to play like you don't get the chance, there is open series every single time after every regional finals here. So inclusivity is rocks in HOK.
I love that, Sagi. I love that. I love how everyone, the first thing, the plan is very simple. Go and play, come and watch, and then after that, analyze everything that you can. Game 3 is going to start right now. It's going to be Nova Esports on the blue, Blacklist International is going to be on the red. The Luna, after that amazing performance by Conling, is going to be banned. No more Luna available for Blacklist International.
Yeah, and more jungle bans will be putting on towards the shoulder of Conling here. So we do see Pei gone, Luna gone. Potentially, we might see an Arlie that needs to be removed away from the side of Blacklist International to really restrict Muji here. But this is the con right now. You played Arlie. Now you have to think that, okay, do I have to ban the Arlie or ban the Chicha or Long? These are strong 3 marksmen that could very well benefit Nova Esports. But they're like, hey, too much marksmen. Let's just remove one of Strand's favorite to pick here. It will be the Guan Yu being removed. So this comes to the question. Nova Esports, they prior the Long. This gives over to the side of Blacklist International to potentially pick up the Chicha.
Well, if they decide to pick up the Chicha, they might be able to play a little bit just with our brains. Do I play jungle? Do I play clash lane? Do I play farm lane? That would be an option. On the other hand, Blacklist International decide not to go with any of those gimmicks, and they just go full-on system, Dolia, and Yantian.
Ooh, we might see a Haya coming in for the side of Nova Esports to really punish this aggressive 1-2 Dolia Yangjin pickup here.
Yep.
I'm excited to see what Nova Esports actually picks up. This Ogren is a very good one because in terms of early game jungling coming in from the Tri-Light, it's very, very slow. So Ogren does the same way of what Pei does. Invade the jungle, bully out Just G's weak early game. Don't allow the Yangjin Dolia to come into fruition in the mid game here. So what can Blacklist International pick here? Potentially, there is 2 options. Direnjie to cancel out the highest ultimate, or the Garuda to cancel out the highest short range potential.
I would dare to say that the Garuda would be a better option in this actual game. Like going in from the Direnjie early on still keeps us with the Garuda as an option for the second round, but at the same time, you need to analyze in this whole meta, in this whole week, anyone who's been had priority over the mid lane has ended up just being able to have priority over the other resources. If we know that Nova Esports right now in terms of tempo has the Ogren that can invade a lot more, you want to have priority over mid lane so you can start defending quicker. So something in the mid lane that could help them out with that would be the next option for Blacklist, in my opinion.
And it's also a very interesting approach that Nova Esports has taken. They have removed the Agudo coming in from the equation here so that they do not want to have any form of flex that's going to be happening for Just G and Chami 1 in that specific 1-2 matchup. So this Yangjin is currently fixed in the jungle as we speak here. This allows Nova Esports to pick a counter matchup against this specific matchup here. Do they go on to go for the Mayin to win out their 1v1? What is the game plan here, Nova Esports?
Well, for Nova Esports right now with the Mayin, it's just direct. It's going to be direct positioning onto Direnjie if that would be the option. If they decide to go for the Futsu, the Fatih is just going to be just locking in a 1v1 and then just create that a 4v4 in the other side. It's just that simple. With the Futsu, they are able just to have sustain, and they are able just to split push if it would be necessary for that.
And it's also an interesting one where if you lock in this Futsu, it makes Blacklist International think like, hey, do I want to lock in the Garuda here? Because we know for a fact that Garuda does very little damage on the ultimate. You need to hit a lot. So if the Futsu just stands in front, pops a spell to Intuition, those blades coming in from the Majestic Guardian, you don't take much damage if you are the Futsu.
I love the way how Nova Esports right now with that Futsu pick, it puts a lot of pressure onto what Golden Kite can do, right? Because on that Direnjie, I know like he's got his second ability that could actually get him out of trouble. But you're being targeted by so many different people, and at the same time you do not have a bodyguard to be able to help you out. We know that the Dolly is going to be paired up with the Yanti, and it's going to be Josh and Chaz trying to make things work. So it's Golden Kite on his own. The problem in here is that you have so many Nova Esports players that they could be a threat for him. How do I control when to use my second ability or not?
Ooh, I think you save the second ability in 2 cases here. If you get caught in the mid lane or in the side lane by the Mozi Peacekeeper and there's a lot of people coming to you, you have to use it. Number 2, the most important one, if the Haya tries to pull you, you have to spell 2 immediately because you do not want to be locked into that 1v1.
Oh no, 1v1s in here for that DRNG would be really bad news. And that's just not only really bad news for Golden Kite, but it's going to be really bad news for Blacklist. Because Nova Esports in this moment, the lesser members that they have, that Blacklist has in terms of a fight, the better it looks for Nova Esports. On the 1v1s, on the 2v2s, Nova has the advantage. So, do they want to just really split right now onto their lanes and try to push deep into their Blacklist map? Or do they want just to clean the waves and then take control of the dragons? Which of those 2 strategies would be better for them? We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see, but in the early game, we do see a very aggressive 3v3, at the very least in the mid lane here. Yeah. I do believe that Kongling wants to push aggressively and want to invade against Just Chi's jungle as soon as possible here. So potentially we might see the Argren, the Haya, and also the Mozi stand by going to the mid lane and try to go for that aggressive invade.
Alright, let's wait. And we are going to welcome you into our game number 3 of this best of 7. Right now it's 1-1, once each in terms of victories. It's going to be Nova this time on the blue and Blacklist on the red.
And Dragon already at the start of the game going extremely low. Poked down by the Cannon Blast, poked down by the Haya spell 1 here. Not a good day as Dragon in towards the mid lane here.
Oh, come on, and that's one of the trouble about playing against Waypit on that Mozi, right? Because he's got a very long reach. The Garuda has a very long reach, but the cooldown is a lot shorter in terms of the Mozi with Waypit.
Waypit here playing super aggressive here, making sure that Wendy gets his hands on toward that Spiketail Beast so that Golden Kite isn't able to walk up to look for a steal, right? So very well played coming in for the side of Nova Esports in this early game, securing that bottom Fire Beak, securing that bottom Spiketail Beast.
Yeah. One of the big topics in this whole KIS4 has been the Chami1 and Xuan matchup over there in the Clash lane, right? It's something that people has been talking a lot about, like how Chami1 is such a good player and he needs to demonstrate that he can play against the best. And if I were to choose a 1v1 with 2 heroes, I would love that 1v1. The Fatih against the Futsi. Those 2 heroes, in terms of 1v1s, top level.
Top level indeed. Calling here, being punched out his entire health bar here. We'll take a look at Wendy's rotation here. Silently pacing towards the top side here. Will look to pull Chami1 into that Moonskate Mirage here. So right now, we see a 1v1. Yeah, great timing. 1v1 in the Moonskate Mirage. Chami1 going extremely low. Has to pop the flash. First blood goes into the hands of Wendy here. That's the level 4, but a beautiful Cannon Blast lands on towards Dragon. And Dragon gets caught by the Intuition Ultimate coming in high. He's Sage Bite of Nova Shred. And this is looking super duper bad for the Blacklist International squad.
Blacklist International, they thought that they could have something in there. Chami1 taking a 1v1 in there against Xuan, that he jumped in like a little bit too deep. And then when the reinforcements came up, it was dark and bad news for them. Right now, Nova with an advantage, the 2-0 advantage. And look at the gold difference right now. 1,500, almost 2,000 gold advantage for Nova in only 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Hey man, I just gotta say, Waypit is not missing any one of these single Cannon Blasts. He's been super on point and he's being a very annoying nuisance against the side of Blacklist International here. They are being pressured so deeply right now. The early game is fully in control of Nova Esports with a 2,000 goalie at 3 minutes only here, Isaac.
Again, like Nova did not like losing that first match, man. Like they did not like the fact that just by losing that first match, people might think that they could actually lose this whole game, and they're trying to make a point. they have the composition right now. We know that Conley on that offrun right now in this moment, it's pretty unstoppable. Look at that,
Yeah,
Moonscape Mirage one more time.
Yeah, one more time, Moonscape Mirage here. We see Just G, Chunk dangerously low, gets taken out, and in towards the mid lane here. The Garuda being caught out by Waypit Stink inside the box. Champion One coming to the rescue. No! Champion One being denied of the rescue, and in the 4th minute mark of the game, this mid turret will be wide open for Nova Esports taking.
Chaz can only look with his eyes how in 4 minutes the mid lane turret is going to fall. It's gonna be free eats over here in the jungle for them.
Yeah, I didn't know they ordered like a food delivery here, and Kongling didn't get the smite against Just G, but that is fine. We can see how much pressure actually Nova Wendy is actually being able to generate on this Haya here. Every single Moonscape Mirage thus far has converted into a successful kill. The first bullet on towards Chammy 1, the second kill on towards Just G. And just now, Dragon got caught by Waypit again. The pressure being generated by one single hero is just too darn much coming in from the Nova mid lane.
Oh, look at that. Right now it's going to be the Azure Golem that's going to be the next target. We talked about this at the beginning of the game, right? Like we talked how we have had different performance on that Haya. And you mentioned about 2 players that they have been playing really well. And one of them has been Wendy. And he is right now demonstrating that, Sagi, you do know what you're talking about.
Exactly right. This Haya is so darn good into the Yang Jian here. And we've seen a lot of these days, a lot of the teams has been trying out the Haya into the Yang Jian counters here. They didn't really get into the correct playstyle here. But today, Nova Wendy has shown us why it's such a strong counter. You deny the Dolia refresh, and Yang Jian is just like, oh no, what am I gonna do? The Haya is just swapping positions in the Moonscape Mirage. I can't do anything to her.
Well, right now, as we're gonna hit 5 minutes and 30 seconds, you can see how deep right now the pressure from Nova is coming. It's gonna be the Garuda that's gonna have to proc his ulti to just clean that wave, but nothing they can do as the rotation comes in for the Clash lane.
Yeah, the Clash lane here, we see Shren going in for aggressive Sage Mine on towards Chammy 1 here. Has to build himself and walk away towards safety here, but that does give Nova Esports the HP advantage to secure once again this Crimson Golem here. So, at the very least, this is just 6 minutes, and we're looking at an almost 5,000 goal lead. And tell me, Isaac, have we seen Wimpy miss a single Cannon Blast on the Mozu?
I haven't. I have not seen it since the moment that you mentioned it. I've been just like really paying attention, and he does not miss. That man is on point.
On point, exactly. And Just G once again being kidnapped by Wendy in towards the Moonscape Mirage, isolated from Chaz, Dolia for the refresh here, and he's dead once again.
Oh man, like Wendy has like a target onto Joshi. He's not even looking for anyone else. He might just have an easy ult on someone else, on Dragon, on Chammy 1, on Golden Kite, and he's just gonna keep it just for the sake of just putting Joshi out of this world.
Yeah, removing the double Yang Jian Dolia ultimate here, and you can see throughout the other members here. Yeah, you can refresh with Golden Kite, but he's not really well itemized to really benefit from the Dolia ultimate. Chammy 1 has a long ultimate, Dragon, double ultimate on the Garuda, not the greatest here. So removing Yang Jian already stopped so much game plan that BLACKLIST International want to be having with the Yang Jian Dolia here. So I gotta say, this, and I gotta glaze, this Haya has been pretty on point coming in from Wendy.
Oh, come on, a friend of mine said it's not glaze as long as it is real, and it's just as long as it is accurate. So I agree with you in terms of that. Now, right now for Nova Esports, they're facing a very big question, right? It's a very awkward moment of the game, 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Do they try to go in for the high ground, or do they try to just slowly just keep suffocating BLACKLIST? Should they just be a little bit more aggressive and try to go in for the turrets?
Nah, man, I think it's right now, at the very least, for Nova Esports, it's like you say, continue to suffocate BLACKLIST International. Beautiful Sage Mine on towards Chaz here, as we see Muji walking in towards Chaz, just sending Chaz to the graveyard here. Now, at the very start, if let's say no one dies, maybe we suffocate BLACKLIST International, but since Chaz has suffered a casualty as the one coming in from BLACKLIST International, BLACKLIST is like, okay guys, we can't fight. It's an 8,000 goal lead, 9,000 goal lead for Nova at 8 minutes. We have no way of playing these team fights, and we can only give towers and hope for the best.
Hope for the best as the one more time the wave is going to come into the mid lane. They still have the power play. Chaz is going to join. Now it's going to be the Garuda blocking his ulti, trying to clean onto the wave. It's going to be hopefully enough, but it's going to be 50% of the HP of the turret already down.
It's not looking good at all for Side of BLACKLIST International here. We do see Nova Esports here cleaning up the jungle here, wanting to go for an aggressive push towards that bottom side. Once the 10-minute mark comes in, we might just see a double objective once again coming in from Nova due to how well farmed they are. Look at the goal discrepancy here. We keep repeating this, but this is just a magnificent one. This is so big.
It is just gigantic, man. It's something that we don't see a lot over here in big games, in semifinals, right? Like 9 minutes and then already almost that 10,000 gold advantage. That is something that we don't see every single day. Well, Nova Esports right now, they have a very clear game plan. Just waiting here. It's 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Push in, try to get a little bit more pressure on the turrets, and they just go for double dragon at the 10-minute mark.
Double dragons will be spawned in the 25 seconds coming in towards the top and bottom river here. So at the very least for now, Nova Esports just casually building waves here. It's very smart as well. They don't immediately push out that bottom tier 2. They allow the minions to slowly but surely die towards the turrets here, removing the minions that can be farmed by BLACKLIST International here. So these are the small things that really choked out the goal discrepancies between the two teams. And talking about it, waves are starting to crash in.
Waves crashing in one more time. It's going to be the mid lane that's going to fall first. Then it's going to be the farm lane that they're going to be the last one that they can defend. The Garuda just being critical to keep the hopes alive, but Nova Esports already got what they came for. They have 2 high ground turrets, go back, and they're going to just keep going by reading the script.
Very clean stuff coming in for the side of Nova Esports here. They're just getting every single thing coming in for the side of the BLACKLIST jungle here. And talking about jungle, Just G getting pulled into that Moonscape Mirage to duke it out 1v1 against Wendy here. He's very low. Once he comes out, he will be executed by the hands of Kong Ling here. 4v5 for the next 30 seconds here. This might be the go button coming in for the side of Nova to potentially look for the game-winning push.
That's it, 25 seconds that Joshi is going to be off the map. Seems like Nova doesn't want to go in for the Dragons. They do believe that they have the composition to come in and then just use these 2 waves of super minions to finish the game. The Garuda already with his ulti available. The super minions are coming in, Zagi.
Flash Mine coming in for the side of Chaz. Chaz has been the first one to be taken down here. Wavepit overextending himself into the crystal of the side of BLACKLIST International here. This defense seems to be looking like a successful one at the very least for BLACKLIST. But what's the cost? All the high ground tier trees has been plucked and removed from the base of BLACKLIST.
All right, Nova Esports, they thought that they had enough damage to come in with 2 super minion waves. It was
Anchor Chami one being chunked down to a dangerously low health here. Infinite Vastness popped by Muji, zoning the remaining members on the side of BLACKLIST International here as Just G once again being punished by the Moonscape Mirage on the hands of Wendy.
I'm sorry for Joshi, but he's gonna be having nightmares about Wendy and this whole Moonscape Mirage. Every single time that he's gone in, he's either come out to die or he's just being Wendy, just claiming his life over there in the 3rd dimension.
Yeah, Waves comes in, Sage Mine landing on towards Chami. 1 towers going down. The final hit goes over to the side of Nova Esports in a magnificently clean game number 3 here. 2-1. Nova Esports in the lead against BLACKLIST International.
There was never a doubt that Nova Esports was
BLACKLIST International.
There was never a doubt that Nova Esports was going to bag the W over here in this game number 3, and they came in, they cleanly, slowly, and with a lot of patience, they were able to take the turrets, they were able to take the dragons, and they were able to take the crystal. A 2-1 advantage right now in this best of 7. Nova Esports has 50% of the deal already done.
And it goes back to the discussion here, Isaac, that you have suggested just now. The picks coming in for the side of BLACKLIST International, those are not cheap picks. Those are very expensive draft picks that could really damage them going into Game 4 or Game 5. And it doesn't look like they can actually afford to push it to a Game 7.
Oh, no. Like, at the moment, from what I can see here from my notes, like, I can see that Blacklist International already done with the Dolly and Yanjian picks. Over here, the games, like 9 out of the 10 heroes that they picked in game 1 and game 2, very expensive picks. I don't see to go in for a backdoor. It's the only thing that they can have. Maybe that's what they need to go.
Yeah, so far we see if Blacklist International, they play the map rotation, they do it pretty well. The side lane pushes, the split pushes, they do it pretty cleanly to attract Nova Esports to have a man disadvantage here. So down to the final few heroes that they actually have in their hero pool in this meta, potentially we may see the Mai Shiranui, potentially we might see the Byron, potentially we might see the things like the Luna or Jing coming in from the hands of Just G here. So these are the available heroes for the side of Blacklist International to venture into, coming in towards the Game 4, Game 5 scenario. But maybe Farming Pool is much more forgiving. There's still the Long, there's still the Chicha here. But do they pick the Chicha? That's my concern.
I'm gonna try to rephrase my point so people do not misunderstand, as I do not see Blacklist with any hope to turn things around. Let me rephrase it as, in a best of 7, when you get to game 4 and game 5, the pressure on your picks, the pressure on your BP, it's so high. It's so high that you actually need to pace yourself on your game 1, game 2, and game 3 so you can actually release some of that pressure for game 4 and game 5. Blacklist International, in terms of BP, they have done the exact opposite to that. They have gone full on for games 1, 2, and 3, so I do not see exactly what they could do for game 4 and game 5 that could be better than whatever that Nova can put in front of them. That is my point.
Yeah, I think, Isaac, you really worded perfectly well. To those who are new to HOK Esports, the reason why Isaac kept mentioning Game 4, Game 5, and Game 6 is because Honor of Kings Esports, since the debut, we operate based on global ban pick here since last year, 2025. So what is global ban pick? When a team use a hero, let's say Haya, for example, on Wendy, Wendy can no longer use Haya for the majority of the BO7 until Ultimate Battle Game 7, when the game goes into a normal 5v5 match, blind picks. So for Blacklist International, what Isaac is trying to say here is that, hey, Blacklist, out of the 3 games you have drafted, the heroes that you have used, they are really strong meta heroes, but you aren't able to convert strong wins. But on towards the side of Nova Esports, however, the picks are moderately affordable and they can still make more interesting drafts going into Game 4, Game 5, Game 6 before Game 7, where both hero pools will be refreshed here. So it's not looking good for Blacklist in a game planning side for the coaching staff.
I do believe that this is the moment in very high stakes games where experience really pays off. And that experience from Nova, that experience from Wendy, it's just giving him not only the victory in this game 3, it's giving him the MVP on that the Evernight aspiration. 305 on the KDA.
We were talking about this pick that does extremely well into the Yang Jin due to the fact that you can deny the Yang Jin Dolia combination, but we really didn't see much of a good higher performance, the Evernight aspiration, in the earlier days. But today, Nova, when we serve it on the silver platter, playing this pick to a perfection, I would say.
Of course. No, at the end of the day, we always tell people, you know what, you need to play and then you need to go and analyze game. So if you're gonna analyze game on how the gameplay goes, from this KIF sport, this is one of the most standard and the most solid performances on this specific hero.
Correct. Very well done here, coming in for the Nova squad here. Almost making 0 mistake a stat from this specific high ground play, which is excusable that they want to go for the game-winning push. But other than that, they practically make 0 mistakes. 10-1 in terms of scoreline and getting a very clean win on top of Blacklist International. Very well done here. And right now, they're holding the lead 2-1 before going into that short break.
Well, Sagi, I'm telling you, I do believe